Hey guys, Jason the X-Fast, seeing us live in the Alternate Heads podcast, and welcome to another figure review, and I'm very happy about this one. This is the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Wave 4. Now, big shout out to my buddy Near. He found out a movie trading company had these in. I made a call, they had a brand new case available, and I was able to pick up the whole wave. This is a solid wave. There's a thing or two in there I'll tell you about, but otherwise, a very good wave, another one. And I gotta ask you, are these waves coming too slow? Because, man, we got a lot of ground to cover, but this does fill a lot of holes in the collection or start some of them up. So let's go ahead and get right into the review. All right, starting off, I rate these in the order that I like them, least to greatest, and the one I'm gonna put the lowest is gonna be the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Zeo Blue Ranger. There are reasons I dislike this figure, and I wanted this figure, don't get me wrong, but there are some QC issues, there are things that I just can't overlook with it, so let's first get him out of the way. And let's take a look at the box that he comes in. Of course, I overpaid for this, but anyway. There you go, the Power Rangers Zeo Blue Ranger. You got the artwork on the side. There's a picture of Zeo Blue. Good looking picture on the back. We've seen this effect piece before, and I'll show that off a little bit more, but getting old Zeo Blue, Rocky in here. Okay, let's get his weapons out of his hand first off. So we'll go over accessories in just a bit, but looking at the figure himself. So looking at the figure straight on, you got a pretty good looking figure here. He's the first one that's not like a 6th Ranger to be released in the Zeo line. Helmet looks good. The paint looks got a little bit of silver on the visor there. But then you start to get over here. I got some gold paint that is coming off right there at the shoulder. And you got some right there as well. Well, the butterfly joint and at the shoulder. And if you look, there are some white flecks on my finger. That's some of the paint coming off. And yeah, it's kind of already chipping. The gold on the belt and this piece look really good. See, I say it's QC because it's on this side, but not on this side. This side's actually clean. So it could just be the figure I got when these release in store. I'm not going to replace it for these small things, but you can see more of that white paint kind of flecking off there. The back of the figure, everything goes around to the back. They didn't put, they really didn't need to put in the gold bits over here. I love that it's got the little designs on there. Here are the holsters. The holster's got the little Zeo emblem right there. Make that out. Belt buckle as well. Love the printing on the, not printing, the mold around the gloves. Got some gold around the wrist. The boots look good. All the symbols are the mold is very good. It's just there are a couple of QC issues with this one. And like I said, your mileage may vary depending on what you get. The other thing is the civilian head. We get that on there. Let's go ahead and look at Rocky. Who is that? Who is that? That's not Rocky. That is not our boy Steve Cardenas. He's also gone on and said this does not look like him. I guess they didn't want to pay the actor for his likeness, and that's disappointing because this does not look like him. Now, let's say they did some movie figures or maybe some of the Ninjetti figures. You got another shot at doing this character and getting his head right, because this does not look like there are definitely some licenses that are being taken, and I don't display mine with the civilian heads, but that's just sad. So let's go ahead and get this other helmet back on. Take a look at the articulation on the figure. The peg is in the boot, so you're going to get some rotation around there. Back up a little bit here. You got a cut at the calf, so you can go 360 there. Double jointed knees, twist at the thigh. Can Van Damme about that much. A good waist and chest articulation. The torso area, he can bend forward about that much, bend back about that much. You do hear a ratchet in there. Ball jointed torso, very nice. The butterfly joints I mentioned before, you see the printing doesn't go all the way down, all the way in, but still very, very good. Shoulder joints, not quite universal, but will go up pretty high for non-universal joints. And also will twist at the shoulder, rotate full 360. 360 cut at the bicep, double jointed elbows, and his hands are able to rotate, and they are hinged up and down, which helps when he's pointing his weapons nicely. The head, of course, you saw that ball joint inside, but he does have that neck hinge, can go pretty far up, pretty far down. And that's very, very nice. Good articulation, kind of your standard Power Rangers articulation for the male buck. So like I said, getting into accessories that it comes with, he does have this kind of effect part. This is the same one that we saw with Beast Morphers Gold. So if you bring them both here. Actually, the darker one is actually the one that came with Zeo Blue. And it has that same hole that goes all the way through, but it is a rectangular hole. But the good thing is, it will actually fit over the Zeo Saber. So you just want to get that in there. Come on, come on. So there you go. It only works there on the end of it. I wouldn't try to get this any further down. And on to other accessories, it does have a Zeo Saber in the open mode here. And this is really good. If you look at the molding on the hilt of the weapon, you've got the Zeo symbol. Looks really good, picked out. You can see some of my blue paint on the handle is starting to come off just from him gripping it, but that's kind of what we've seen with other weapons in this line. Got the gold down here at the bottom of the hilt as well. It's a good looking piece, but that paint is going to come off, and that's even more apparent with his blaster. Now this is only a couple of times. I haven't had these figures that long. And you can see the paint's already coming off the handle, some of the white's coming off. The gun looks good. This is a great mold. This is a good mold. I mean, if you really were upset about it, you can kind of just color it back in, but I'm not. You can see some of that white paint is coming off right there. But yeah, these look good. And I was trying this earlier. I think you can actually get this. I was trying to see if I could get the blast effect on the gun. Okay, it's hanging there, but it is there. It's not meant to go on there. And also, he does come with 2 fists. They're on the figure when you get him out of the box. Actually, I think I have the same fist from another character. I mean, it's the standard fist with the lines across the back of the hands. I don't typically use these. I want them with their open gripping hands or holding something. So, yeah, you get those. Those are just go in the bag. Quick comparison, here he is with Zeo Gold, the only other Ranger that we've gotten from Power Ranger Zeo. Of course, you had to get him from the SDCC pack, or you're waiting on Wave 5, where this figure will be available. I think they look really good together. Interesting how they put the black around the designs on Zeo Gold, but not on the Zeo Ranger. So I wonder what's going to come out, what's going to be the mainline release of this figure. But yeah, they look really good together. So here are your 2 figures from Power Rangers Zeo. And next on the list is Beast Morphers Cyber Villain Blaze. Now, this is a good figure. Mind you, it is third in my choice, but this is a really good line, so it's okay. So, get Blaze out of here. Let's take a look at the box that he comes in. I paid too much. Anyway, there you got Blaze on the side. You got the little text in his eye. Lighting Collection, Beast Morphers Cyber Villain Blaze. On the back, you've got his sword with a very nice power effect on there. And on the side, you just got an abbreviated look at that artwork. So let's get Blaze on camera, and wow. Now, see, this one, I really like this one. It should have been number 2, to be honest with you, because it is quite the different design than we've seen from the other Rangers. Look at this helmet. I love that visor with the teeth around the eyes. And we'll zoom in just a little bit. Got the collar, that looks real good. This is a separate piece, just like some of the other Beast Morphers figures. But the detail on this guy, and him being such a different character from what we've seen, you know, just Morphin right there on the back. I really like this one, very well done. This piece is separate, and I kind of, if you look, it's a bit off kilter. And I think since it's just a separate plastic piece, I can probably move that around. I'm not going to bore you on camera doing it, okay? You got the ridges inside the pants here, kind of flared out the side. Really nice design with the details and the look of the leather on the boots. Just get in there and yeah. This is a neat design. And like I said, quite a bit of difference, quite a different character than what we've seen in some of the other Beast Morphers figures. Now, he does come with a civilian head, and this one does look a lot like the actor. So we just gonna pop that off. He's even got kind of that smirk that that Blaze has in the show. That is a strong stare right there, man. That is some blue steel right there. Good head mold. And yeah, they actually got the likeness on this character more so than they did some of the other ones. Hence the one that I just reviewed. Now, accessories that he comes with. He does come with basically 2 fists. You know, we get these. It's options, so you can punch things. I don't typically use them if they have a weapon. I think I've said this before. But anyway, 2 fists comes as default. He does have another cool accessory, this laptop case here. Got a nice handle picked out in gold. On the back, maybe got some inner gem there. Opening this up. You got some detail. The virus is loading. You shouldn't have clicked on this video. Actually, you should have. Please don't. So, got some other painted out details inside the case. Nice red button that will probably stop something bad from happening. And it stays together. It stays closed pretty good. Of course, he can hold this, you know. And it's Business Blaze. There you go. It's business time. All right, lame joke. He does have his sword, too. Got some black and some red on the gray piece. Come on, focus. There we go. Some molded detail. I love this nice ridge down the middle of it. That's pretty cool. So good mold on this, a good paint work. And he does come with an effect that you can put on there. Trace that up through, and there you go. Turn it around the other way. Yeah, that looks better. And of course, he can hold that in his hand like so. So yeah, this is like I said, this is a solid line. So I really can't rate the figures after this, like with any problems or anything. This is just a good wave. And Blaze, as getting a villain from the show, really good choice there. Going over the articulation on Blaze, does have the peg in the foot, very stiff joint on the ankles. Go around. You well actually you got a twist at the calf. It goes around like that. Mine's still a little bit sticky. Double jointed knees. He does have this little plastic piece here, but he can Van Damme it about that far. Ball joint at the torso. Ratcheting joint at the ab. He does have a butterfly joint. It's covered up by the plastic piece over here. But he can go pretty far forward. About that far. Got a twist at the bicep. Double jointed elbows. And his wrist articulation goes back and forth. And the head can go back pretty far, down pretty forward. I love this helmet design. This is an awesome looking Ranger if he wasn't just so evil. But yeah. And with us getting Blaze, that puts you 4 deep into the Beast Morphers line. I really want a yellow now, so we can just go ahead and get the team together. At least the first team, and then, yeah. We're really close on these, and I'm pretty sure, in their infinite wisdom, they'll now wait to release yellow, and it'll be a little bit. But yeah, they look good together. This is by far the team that you almost have the most of, and we'll get to the rest now. And my second favorite in the line, we have SPD Red Ranger. Now, SPD and Deca Ranger, they are my favorite Super Sentai series and Power Ranger series. Kind of weird that I like both, whether the Japanese version or the English version. I love Deca Ranger and SPD, and the Red Ranger is a good character to go to. I cannot wait. This is the line I want all of them of, so getting them out of the way. Of course, I want all of them. What are we being stupid here? I want all of the figures. Anyway, of course, you got some artwork of SPD Red. Got it going around the side. There's his name. On the side, more of the SPD Ranger's helmet. And this is just my favorite suit design, too. Especially the girls, they don't have skirts. And this is a solid figure. And yes, he does have a little bit of a... It's not accurate to the... I got this little thing on mine. He's got like a little white mark, and of course, I mean, it's not enough to get a new one, but yeah, he does have that little QC issue. You can see the badge on his head. You can almost make out the SPD, but man, I love this helmet design. You got the, they don't do anything translucent. They just have the, just space where the light would be. Got the badge on the shoulder. Around the wrist, you can see SPD here, and you got the 1. I loved how the numbers incorporated into the costumes. Going around the back, continuing with that line. He doesn't have a space to store his Delta Morpher, though, and he does come with one. And, of course, he has his Delta Blaster, the D Magnums, I think they were called in Super Sentai. Those holster right there. Kind of, the belt is kind of plain. Just the gray plastic unpainted. Kind of wish they'd gone with something a little bit silver. A little bit overspray around the boot. A lot of red on this figure, but I think it looks really, really good. I can't wait to get more of the SPD guys. And popping his head off. And yeah, this is a good likeness. See, the problem is when they have a likeness that's this good and one on the Beast Morphs and they have the one on Zeo Blue, which is very, very poor. But yeah, they've got his braids very nicely picked out. Good molding here. Good job overall. This head sculpt is a really good one. And although it's a little bit low on the neck, but that's cool. It's still a really, really good figure. Now putting him in the back here, he does have a chopping hand as an accessory. That's more so he can do his signature pose, the SPD Red. And he does have this gripping hand here. And it's just like with the Doggy Kruger or Shadow Ranger, he's got his Delta Morpher here. It doesn't open up like the ones from SH Figure Arts, but it is nicely picked out. I just wish that they had added a spot for them to put this on their belts. And you can put his hand right there for Judgment Mode. Looks really good. We can go ahead and just pop that in his hand. And once again, they've got those really long pegs, so make sure that you're very careful when you're taking it out. But yeah, time to decide if you're guilty or innocent. Come on, doggy, stand up. That sounded demeaning for a doggy group. Stand up, boy, stand up. So those look really good together. Shadow Ranger is, of course, taller. His helmet seems to be a bit smaller, and with all that Doggy was pushing inside of that helmet, it kind of could be better. So you can actually have a little bit of room. But these guys look really great together. Give me more SPD, especially the Omega Ranger. Give me all the SPD. Give me Cat. I want them all. I love this line. Oh, and I'm sorry, he does have one more accessory. Duh, he has his Delta Blasters. I'm about to just get off the Delta Blasters. Now, these look great together. I'm bringing them. I also got the most important accessory. Now, the great thing about these, he can hold them in his hands. And usually it's, this one's in the right. This one's in the left. I'm going all over the place here. And there you go. He can hold these. And the best thing about this is this blaster can combine with this one. So you just take it, you plug it right in there. That meets up fairly well. And then you just pop up the handle on the second blaster. And there you have the Delta Blaster in its combined mode. And this effect can fit over either one of them. Just fit it over the barrel. And there you go. Actually, I'm going to put it up. There we go. So it does have this blast effect that you can attach to the into the barrel of any one of the guns. Articulation-wise, he does have the peg in the foot. Goes around. Cut here. Double jointed knees. Biceps. He's got the standard Ranger articulation. Can Van Damme it about that far. Goes about that far over. That far in. Joint at the torso, ball joint. Very nice butterfly joint here. Elbows go up about that far. Twist at the bicep. Double jointed elbows. And his hands are oriented on the peg that goes up and down, which is for the best because he's going to need to pose with those blasters. And the head goes back about that far, about that much forward. You can go complete 360 on the ball joint. Now I've gotten them all kinds of discombobulated. Put them back over here. So yeah, SPD Red, definitely my second favorite out of this line. And the last figure from this wave, and certainly the best, and probably the one that a lot of people have been waiting for. It's Mighty Morphin Yellow Ranger, Trini, Tui Trang. We still miss you. This is a good figure, and I'm so glad it came out the way it did. They saved all the views of this one were saved for the last, and I gotta say it was saving the best for last. So let's go ahead and get her out of the way. And as you can see on the box, we've got the Saber-Tooth Tiger, the Yellow Ranger from Mighty Morphin, the OG series. You got Mighty Morphin Power Rangers right there. Some more artwork on the side, and there's a pose of her with her power daggers. A good shadowing on here. And let's go ahead and bring in the OG Yellow Ranger. Very, very well done. This was a lot of people's favorite actor from the series. And I gotta say, the helmet is picked out very well. I'm missing a little bit of silver on the snoot for her saber-tooth helmet. The eyes look pretty good. Moving down to the torso, this all looks good. I always like that she didn't have the skirt. She just had the normal looking uniform. I know that the actor in Zyuranger was male, but I think it all came out well for Tui here. Not a lot of detail on the belt buckle. I can't really make out the saber-tooth tiger. Even if I get this pretty close up there, I can't really make it out. She does have her blaster as an accessory, but it is in the Power Blaster open mode instead of closed. We've only got one of those with the SDCC set. On the back, there you go. She got some double jointed legs there. No double jointed elbows, which, you know, I really wish they would get with the program on that, but hey. Of course, going into accessories, I'm trying to stay on topic on these, and I keep getting off, but here is the unmasked civilian head. And while I do not think that is close to the actress, it's pretty good. I definitely see some elements in there. I definitely see some that were missed as well, but it's about as close as I guess they could have gotten based off of what they had. I think it looks good. I think it's a good representation, and yeah, we'll leave it at that. It works. Getting that head off there, putting the helmeted head back on. Kind of went on a little too easy there. Concerned about that. Anyway, articulation-wise, she does have the peg in the foot, goes around. Cut at the calf, double jointed knees, twist at the thigh. Van Dam's about that far. She's got a torso articulation, does have a ratchet in there, a little soft butter one. Got a ball joint at the torso. Arms will go up about that far. No bicep twist on this figure, but you can actually twist it in the shoulder, so not a big deal there. The arms will elbow up about that far, which is pretty good. Could be better. Her wrists will go around and back and forth. And she does have interchangeable hands. She has a chopping hand and a kind of a gripping hand. This is more for the blaster. So she can shoot it. Pretty sure she can hold it pretty much in any hand. But, I mean, when you look at it, this is only... Hang on. Come up here. Focus. Focus. I mean, this hand isn't too different from the one that she has that she grips with. So, yeah, she does have those interchangeable hands. She does have small feet, so, you know. Be careful when you're posing her. The other effects that she has, of course, she has her power daggers. Look really good. They've got that hook on there. I'm glad they put that on there. Or like the little blades on the side, they kind of go forward a little bit. Got some nice silver on here. I really like that silver. Very metallic, very nice. And also she has these, I know we've seen this effect with, I think we've seen it with the White Ranger. But they just slip right over the power daggers. So it looks like she's blocking something or making contact with it. And you can just put those in her hands. Everyone, they do have the little holes there for when you combine them with the power blaster. And for a little bit of a comparison, here we have her with some of the other figures from her particular team. Red, yellow, green, and pink. We still have white, but I didn't put him in there just because it's this team. It's the original team. I know we got blue coming next wave, and of course they're eventually going to do black. But yeah, these guys look really good together. And that's 4 out of Mighty Morphin, holding right next to Beast Morphers. And soon we're going to have 5 deep into MMPR with blue. And yeah, they'll be leading the pack of how many teams that we have so far. And I'm happy for that. I think this team looks really good together. Final thoughts, Lightning Collection Wave 4, it is a solid wave. Yeah, there's a couple things I wish they would have done differently, especially Cardenas' head. Really need to look a bit more like Rocky, but otherwise this is a very solid wave. You're going to need every one out of these. Right now they are only showing up in Entertainment Earth, vintage stock, and movie trading company like we have here in Dallas. So they haven't made a store release yet. Probably going to be another 2 to 3 weeks before we actually start seeing these in stores, if everything holds true from the last wave that we saw. Anyway, guys, I'm Jason the X. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and keep up with everything we're doing. We got Nerds with Coffee these days. We're doing the show every week, and we got Alternate Heads where we talk about toys all the time. Until next time, guys, I'm Jason the X. I'll catch you later.